Good morning, students. My name is Praveen Kumar. I'm working as PGT English at JNV1 Malkangiri, Odisha. Today, we are going to learn a beautiful and burning kind of poem that is Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. It is from First Flight textbook in English for 10th class. In this video, I'm going to discuss four things. Number one, introduction, that is, background of the poem. Number two, I'll be discussing about poet. Number three, a detailed explanation of poem stanza wise. Number four, brief summary of the poem according to Robert Frost. Okay, let's get into the lesson. Before getting into the lesson, I'll suggest you to watch this video in a desktop or laptop so that you may not miss beautiful words and beautiful sentences used by poet Robert Frost. Let's get into first part. What is that? Introduction part. In introduction part, Robert Frost, what he was saying, Robert Frost's poem Fire and Ice expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human emotions. What are they? Hatred and desire. The poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. Similarly, he thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a catastrophic end. See what he want to say, in the introduction. He's just relating the fire and ice are physical things which are compared to the abstract things of what? Abstract things of hatred and desire of an human being. We both fire and ice in physical way, hatred and desire in abstract way are leading to destruction. That's he want to tell. Okay, I hope you have understood what is the background behind the poem. Okay, let's discuss about poet. Our poet Robert Frost. In full, Robert Lee Frost was born on March 26, 1874 in San Francisco, California, United States of America. He is an American poet who was much admired for his depictions of the rural life of New England. His command of American colloquial speech and his realistic verse portraying ordinary people in everyday situations. He died on January 29, 1963 in Boston, United States of America. Okay, let's get into explanation part of the poem. I'll read out the first stanza. Okay, try to find out difficult words from the stanza. Then after we'll get into explanation part of that stanza. Okay. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. I'll read again. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. See, he is comparing the fire with the desire. Okay, the see you can observe the images also here, which shows that the one's figure, one picture saying that the earth is getting distracted by fire and ice. Here in second image, the comparison has been made. Fire and ice are compared with the desire and hate of human behavior. Okay, in the downwards you can see how the desire can be leading to destruction and hatred. Okay, let's find out the difficult words from this stanza. First word, desire, a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Next word is favor, that means approval or support. In this stanza, poet Robert Frost would like to explain like this. The poem expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways, either by ice or fire. One group is of the opinion that someday the earth's core will get so heated up that it would lead to fire destroying the earth's surface. On the other hand, the second group says that if the temperature goes down to an extent that makes life on earth impossible, it would have the same catastrophic effect. The poet then compares fire and ice with the destructive features of human emotions. What are they? Desire and hatred. He says that from what he is aware about fierce desires, he would favor the ones who say that it would be fire. By saying so, he brings about the idea that human beings let their emotions rule them, and the consequence of unmonitored longing is chaos. This is the explanation given by Robert Frost from first stanza. Okay, let's get into next stanza. In next stanza, but if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Again I am reading. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. From this stanza, the two difficult words I can find, they are perish. Perish means die, destruction of earth or destruction of human being. Next, suffice. Suffice means be sufficient. Means hatred is enough to destroy human being himself, or ice is enough to destroy the whole world. That is the meaning behind suffice. Okay, again I am reading that stanza. But if it is, sorry, but if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Okay, from this stanza, our poet Robert Frost would like to explain like this. Then, by not waiving off the first option of fire, he considers if the world has to expire twice, ice would be equally competent in ending it. He brings about a contrast between ice and hatred. The human capability of insensitivity, sorry, the human capability of insensitivity and hatred has the potential for inner destruction. Though slow and steady, it has the same effect that desire has on us. So, if given an option between fire and ice would be just as good as fire to destroy the world. Means ice is enough to destroy the world. Same way, hate is enough to destroy human being himself. That was the uh, explanation given by Robert Frost from second paragraph. Second stanza. Okay, let's get into next part, that is summary. After that we'll go get into literary devices also. In the summary, Robert Frost would like to explain like this. Robert Frost poem Fire and Ice is a strong symbolic poem where fire is used as the emotion of desire and ice that have hatred. He has used the idea of two groups who have their own possible explanation for the end of the world. One is of the opinion that fire alone can destroy each and every possibility of life on earth, while the other thinks that if ice, as a result of extreme low temperatures, could cover the earth's surface, it would lead to the end of the world. Both the competents are compared with self destructing human emotions. What are they? Des- Desire and hatred. The poet is originally of the opinion that he has been very closely associated with the fiery desires and considers it capable of bringing human beings on the verge of destruction. Thus, he considers fire as more competent for destruction. But then he thinks that icy hatred is just as capable of ruining humans, though slowly and steadily. Therefore, if Earth was to end twice, ice would be just as good as fire for destruction, for end of the earth. If fire would lead to rapid destruction, ice would lead to silent damage. Similarly, if fire is pure passion, ice is pure reason. Thus, the poem very artistically underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if don't control them, they will surely bring us all on verge of chaos. That means he want to say that if we don't control fire and ice, which destroy the world, same way the human inner emotions, if we don't control those emotions, desire and hatred, we are going to destroy ourselves. That was the thing Robert Frost would like to convey from this poem. Okay, next part we'll get into literary devices of fire and ice. The rhyming scheme you can find is ABA, ABC, BCB. The rhyming scheme you can find ABA, ABC, BCB. You can check the thing in the poem also. See the first stanza. If we read that three lines, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, three three lines are totally different. That means first line and third line is looking like same, fire and desire, A and A. Okay, some say the world will end in fire. Third line, from what I have tasted of desire, fire and desire look like it. So the second line is different. So A B A. Same way, the fourth line and get into the second stanza. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate. Means this is different. Okay, like that rhyming scheme has been followed here. The fourth line of first stanza and first line of second stanza and second line of second stanza are totally different. That's why the rhyming scheme is A B C. Then if you see the third line of second stanza and fourth line of second stanza, last line of second stanza, you can see last line and fifth third line of second stanza look like alike. That is why it is following the rhyming scheme as BCB. Okay, first poetic device used by Robert Frost in this poem, alliteration. We have already discussed this alliteration poetic device. The occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. The instances of alliteration are as follows. You can see the sound of F in favor fire and W in world will. See, favor fire. The F is beginning in two words. Favor fire in adjacent words. And the W in two words. World will means world is beginning with W. Will is also beginning with W. That's why we can say that he has followed poetic device alliteration. Next, second poetic device, personification. What is personification? Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. Means which are not having a living life, we are giving some life. That is called personification. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Actually, who can destroy? Only those who are having intention to destroy. Human beings only the destructing things on the on the world who are having life. But here, fire and ice are inanimate things. He has given life to these inanimate things for destruction of earth. The poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. That is why here Robert Frost also used personification literary device in this poem. Third, enjambment. Enjambment. We are already discussed this one also. What is enjambment? Without any punctuation marks. Let us see. When the same sentence continues to the next line without use of any punctuation marks, it is called enjambment. It has been used throughout the poem. See, if you observe the stanzas also, you will be finding continue of first line to second line without any punctuation mark, comma or like that. That is the thing which can explain that Robert Frost also used a poetic device called enjambment in his poem. Example is given, from what I have tasted of desire. Second line, I hold with those who favor fire. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. It looks like continuity without having any punctuation mark. That is the enjambment we can say. That's why you can say that he has also used a poetic device called enjambment in his poem. With this, we are going to conclude the poem called Fire and Ice. See, the picture shows that how destruction of earth is taking place by inanimate things, fire and ice. Okay, hope you have understood the poem. Thank you, students. Till next video, keep practicing, keep learning. Bye bye.